I use the market profile to find long setups and translate it into plain English. My edge is simple: patience and daily understanding of the market profile. No hype, no emotions, just the charts. Let's get started.
So the first stop here, I have NVDA. So the market profile for today, when I look at the market profile, no tails at the top, no tails at the bottom means no signs of exhaustion. There is no range extension up or range extension down, which means neither buyers nor sellers tried to initiate an auction higher or lower. When I look at the volume is below average, so low volume. And then the last piece is the value area placement. I said that it is overlapping lower. So the value for NVIDIA is lower. The most important takeaway is that on low volume, value moved lower. There were no tails that show exhaustion, nor were there any range extension that show initiative buying or selling. Price action has an upward bias because the rotation factor was +1. However, value drifted lower. This suggests forward price action has a weak conviction. In conclusion, profile is showing lack of market participants and awaiting more information before a convictional move. Because I only long, I'm looking at the 171 to 178 level. I want price to retrace back in here, and I want to see seller exhaustion, meaning I want to see a tail in this zone. The next stock I have is Apple. So when you look at the market profile for Apple, you'll see a tail at the top. So I know it's a tail because there's two single line TPO prints. For it to be considered a tail, you need 2 or more single line TPO prints. That's a selling tail. It means it shows buyer exhaustion. There's no tails at the bottom that show selling exhaustion. So tail at the top means buyer exhaustion. There is no range extension or down, means neither buyers nor sellers initiated an auction higher or lower. Value from yesterday to today is definitely lower. In terms of volume, generously average volume. So the most important takeaway for Apple is that on average volume, value moved lower. There was a selling tail. There was a selling tail present that suggests buyer exhaustion. However, no range extension, which means that sellers didn't initiate an auction low. This means that sellers are in control, but not demonstrating strength. They may, however, continue to test lower prices. Because I only long 244 to 52 level, I want price to retrace in the zone, and then I want to see a selling tail. I want to see buying tail, which shows seller exhaustion. The last stop I have here is Tesla. So when I look at the market profile, I can see a tail at the top. That's a selling tail, which shows that this is buyer exhaustion. There's no tail at the bottom, no selling exhaustion at the bottom. There is range extension lower, which means that sellers initiated an auction further lower. Volume is average volume, and then the value from yesterday to today, value is lower. So the most important takeaway for Tesla is that on average volume, value moved lower. There was a selling tail at the top suggesting buyer exhaustion. There was also range extension lower, suggesting sellers initiated an auction lower. This profile suggests sellers are in control and will continue to test lower prices. Because I only long, I'm looking for price to come back into the 381 to 395 level, and then inside the zone, I want to see a buying tail showing seller exhaustion. That concludes my stocks, and I wish everybody good luck tomorrow.